Dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, namaste. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Ken at 10. How are you today? Hope you're doing well. We're here in the office in SW16. Welcome if you haven't been before. We are James Alexander Estate Agents. We broadcast all about property every day, giving you the very latest in live property news and views. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Here in SW16, it's kind of chilly, bit overcast, bit grey, but not too bad really for the time of year. Can't complain. Nice and bright this morning again as well. I like the fact these mornings are getting that little bit brighter, don't you? Just makes it feel like, yes, spring is on the way. You know, the shoots are coming out the ground and makes everything feel a little bit more optimistic, you know. Sometimes when it's rainy and gloomy, it's like, oh, again, really? But it does seem to be picking up nicely now. A few bits in the press for you today. First of all, from BBC News and the Daily Mail. House price growth is set to slow considerably, according to Halifax, as households face a squeeze on incomes. The mortgage lender said house prices grew by 0.3% in January, and that's the lowest monthly increase since June 21. However, the rise meant the average price hit a new record high of $276,759. It noted that while house prices continue to outstrip earnings growth, despite the record levels of first-time buyers stepping onto the ladder last year, younger generations still face significant barriers to home ownership. You know, and there's been a lot of talk in the media, I don't know if you noticed it, about people saying, yeah, you know, if these kids, they didn't buy a Costa every day, they'd be able to go out and buy their house. It's total nonsense, isn't it? You know, the idea that, you know, because you've saved that £3 a day, all of a sudden you're going to be able to save up enough money for a 50,000 plus deposit, which is what it is for most people, is a bit of a, you know, bit of a load of old rubbish, really. You know, I just think some people, you know, the idea that these kids of today, you know, they should do this and that. There are plenty of good people out there working really hard to try and get their own homes. Let me tell you, because I meet them every day, and it's a struggle for them. And you know, there's nothing that pleases me less than, you know, when you're in a situation where people come in. I hate it when we have to say, look, I'm really sorry, but you know, it's not affordable for you here, where your expectation is. And sometimes we do have to have those hard discussions. Some agents won't bother, but I always do. If somebody's looking for something that's outside of their reach, you know, then we do have to say, look, I'm really sorry, it's not for you. It might be that now's the time perhaps to rent something, or perhaps to think about saving a bit more, or perhaps to maybe combine your salary with a partner and maybe buy jointly with somebody else, or go to BOMAD, the Bank of Mum and Dad, which is very popular these days, but not an option for everybody. The places where UK house prices are predicted to rise most, that's what we all want to know, isn't it? Norbury, is it on the list? Let's have a look. This is from the Metro, and it says that it's Hamptons that has analysed the UK postcodes that have the biggest value gaps between the most expensive quartile of houses and the cheapest. In the northeast, it's Hartlepool, which is an average property in the cheapest quartile, cost £53,000. There you go. There's an affordable area for you. This is 166,800 less than the typical price in the most expensive part, and that's a value gap of 314%. And experts add that another key indicator for potential price growth is how close an area's average house price is to its pre-financial crisis peak. Areas where the prices have only just exceeded 2007 levels following rapid price growth in 2021 include Darlington, Redcar and Cleveland and Blackpool, which are areas most exclusively in the north of England. In the capital, London's NW1 postcode, which includes Regent's Park and Primrose Hill, but also Camden Town, has the second largest percentage price gap in the country at 243%. The top hotspot for the Midlands is Edgbaston in the B15 code in Birmingham, where the value gap is 705 or 186%. Taylor Wimpey has picked the first woman to lead a major house builder. So I'm pleased to see this. You know, the idea, you know, a lot of the time people say to me, oh, women are worse than men at stuff and all the rest of it. You're not worse. You're not better. We're the same. But, you know, it's good to see that equality gap coming back. And Jenny Daly has been named as the new boss of Taylor Wimpey, becoming the first woman to run a FTSE house builder. That's amazing. Good for her and good for all of us, I would suggest. Apart from that, UK is falling short on new build delivery. Well, we've said this for some time, haven't we? And it's one of the reasons why house investing is such a good thing to do in the medium term, is because we can't build them enough. We can't build enough houses. We're delivering fewer new builds in relation to population size when compared to all other European nations, analysis found. The country's construction sector was hit by rising costs, supply on labour, as well as works being delayed and stalled to the pandemic. Countries including France, Belgium, the Netherlands and Germany have built more homes during the pandemic in relation to their respective population sizes. The UK sector delivered 175,000 new homes in 2020. Germany developers said is well behind where they're building 306,000. And I think our target was originally something along the lines of 300,000 a year were needed. UK exceeded the delivery of other countries, including Spain, the Netherlands, and Belgium, Italy, and Portugal in relation to the population size of those. The UK delivered one of the lowest levels of new stock with 261 homes for every 100,000 people. I mean, talk about behind, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Bathroom trends, this is an interesting one, and one we've talked about before, actually. There is a trend for people to get rid of baths, and people often ask me, is this a good thing, bad thing? Well, it depends on what your audience is. And when you're looking to sell a property, I always say, the first thing I do when I walk through a door is say, well, who's my audience? Who is the kind of person that's going to buy this property? Now, if you've got a flat, that bath may not be quite so important. But if you've got a house, it certainly is. You know, everybody wants to chuck the baby in the bath and not out with the water, hopefully, but they do. And so, you know, you've got to be really careful about not getting to a situation where you've got this beautiful shower room, but actually nowhere for baby to bath with a family. And bath time can be a very special time for those with young children, as those of you with young children will know. One of the most memorable times is when we were young with the kids in bath time. It's just a beautiful time, really lovely time. And I do think that you need to be really careful of that. And the Daily Mirror says a trend for removing baths from bathrooms could bring down your house price, experts are warning. And yet this is all about that funnel, isn't it? If it doesn't mean you won't sell, of course it doesn't. It just means the kind of person that has that baby that wants to just move in and chuck the baby in the bath can't do it because of what you've done. And obviously that means that you're restricting the number of people that your home might appeal to. And if you want to get the best price, you need the broadest appeal possible. And that comes with bathrooms. Not rocket science, is it really? Superstore analysed Rightmove listings to find out which home improvements had the most value to a property. And they discovered that people are prepared to pay 2% more for a bathtub in the main bathroom of a house. The average UK house is worth 276,000 according to Nationwide. Mean stripping out a bath knocks 5,500 off. Kevin Tinley from mortgage advice website Mortgageable said not having a bath had the potential to put off buyers. The research found extensions, loft conversions, new kitchens or bathrooms, real wood flooring, home offices added the most value to a property. Well, I would say speak to your local agent and make sure before you make any major changes, they fall in line with what people are asking for. You know, what is the demand out there? What is the audience? What kind of people are going to buy my home? That's a conversation that you can have with agents that might help you to lead you towards a conclusion as to what is best to invest in, if anything. Sometimes I go to houses and people are thinking of doing X, Y, and Z, and I say, do nothing, sell it as is, because of the cost of these works is so great and the stress related to all those works. When if you're moving out of your home, really, I know you want to fall in love with your home and you want it to be that, you know, show house home and everything when you sell it. It's not necessary. You know, people are quite practical and quite pragmatic in their approach to housing. There's not that much available. Have a look around at how you compare with other houses. You might find it as favorable as is, and therefore the extra things that you're doing may return not very much at all, if anything. So you really do need to check that quite carefully if you're thinking about improvements to make sure that your house sells well. There are things that you can do, little hints, tips and tricks, and we go over those a lot in the podcast, that will help you to sell your home for a better price, and that's worth a listen. So if you're thinking about that, then do look up the Property Buyer and Sellers podcast, and that will give you some hints, tips and tricks to help you make the right decisions when it comes to investing in your home. Apart from that, we've got a good day today. Lots of move-ins going on today. A few new instructions we're just putting up live, which we're always excited to do. We're just getting the photos back from the pro and looking at those and making sure they're all in a good order and presenting homes in the best possible way before bringing them to market. So we're always excited about that and looking forward to pressing that live button once our clients approve the details. So that's it for today. Hope you have a fantastic day. Look after yourselves, of course, and your family and friends if you can. And we'll be back same time tomorrow, another Ken at 10. Ciao.